To whoever this may impact, sometimes our lives have to be completely shaken up, changed, and rearranged to relocate us where we're really meant to be. Sometimes change feels like loss, transformation is scary, and sometimes to discover the best versions of ourselves, we must let go of absolutely everything that's holding us down. Welcome to I Missed Me, your new safe space. I'm excited to form a part of your healing journey. Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of I Missed Me. If you're new here, welcome. We are a healing self-growth community, all looking to become the best versions of ourselves. And if you're not new here, bestie, welcome back to another episode. Happy Monday if you're listening to this on a Monday. And if you're not, I hope that you're having the most amazing week. Bestie, today we have an exciting episode because I told you guys on the intro episode that this season specifically, we're going to talk a lot about friendships. I feel like all throughout the podcast in the 4 years that I've been podcasting and having I Missed Me, I've talked about heartbreak a lot. I've talked about relationships a lot. Talked about breakups and how to move on from men, how to get over breakups, which is something that I connected a lot and still connect to a lot. But lately, and mainly because I've been in a relationship for the past 2 years, I've learned a lot about relationships on the friendship side, more than I've ever in my whole entire life. To give you guys a little background of me and friendships, I've been a really good friend. I've been a really bad friend. I've had really good friend groups and I've had really terrible friend groups. I've had amazing friends and I've had really bad friends. So I think I do have a lot of experience when it comes to friendships. I've had all types of friends, all types of friend groups. And I've also learned and have grown a lot as a friend myself. I now, today, consider myself an amazing friend. I'm the type of friend that will be there for you no matter what. If you literally call me at 1 a.m. and need me to pick you up, I will be there wherever you are. Like, I'll literally drive 2 hours for my best friend if she needs me there. I'm the type of friend that does favors for you. I'm the type of friend that picks you up, drops you off, and I never expect anything back because I genuinely, if I consider you my friend, I genuinely feel love for you and I genuinely care for you and I genuinely want you to do good and I genuinely want what's best for you. I haven't always been like that. I've been the jealous friend. I've been the possessive friend. I've been the friend that only wants you for myself, and I've been the friend that's been scared of losing my friends. And so I, try to accommodate myself and be the type of person that everyone likes and everyone enjoys being around. So I don't think anyone is for everyone. And I think that the more, and I said this on episode number 1, but I think that the more that you try to be for everyone, the less that you are for anyone. Someone that tries to be liked by everyone ends up not being liked by anyone because they can never be fully themselves and they can never show their personality 100%, accommodating themselves and their personality depending on who they are with, which ultimately has to do a lot with like insecurity. And I don't even think that those type of people know who they are. But that's literally besides the point of the episode. I'm like drifting away. But I feel that introduction was kind of like a little background as to how much I've learned about friendships, especially these past 2 years where, I've left college. So I didn't really have a regular college experience where, college is normally the place where you make your lifelong friendships and get to hang out with, go out with. I've kind of had like a different lifestyle simply because social media really isolates you a lot, and it's like a great job. I love what I do, but it really does isolate you a lot. I spend a lot of time at home. It is not easy to make friends, especially in this space that's full of like comparison and jealousy, and not a lot of people want what's best for you genuinely all the time. But with all that being said, and with that introduction being said, I was about to come on here and start this episode giving you guys friendship red flags and 4 things that you should look out to when making friends, like red flags, and beware of this and beware of that, and don't be friends with this type of person. But then I thought to myself, okay, it is obviously very valid and okay to be aware of the people that you surround yourself with and the people that you choose to be friends with. But how about I look internally, and how about instead of making this episode about the external and about everyone else around me, I turned this episode into a self-reflection episode instead. What can you do now and today to become a better friend? I am a firm believer, and I've said it always, and I will continue to say it, that you attract who you are. Which also means that if you want to attract good friends, and if you've ever been someone that struggles with friendships and is now scared to open up and be vulnerable with people because your friendships always end up badly, sometimes you need to look within, and sometimes you need to ask yourself, am I being a good friend, or am I being the friend that I'm trying to attract? And if not, this is the episode for you. How can you become a better friend? Or how can you continue to be a good friend? Or how can you be an even better friend if you have a lot of friends, but sometimes you might disappear or ghost them and think that it's okay because they're your friends and they're going to be there for you forever. Or if you think that you don't have to keep up with them because they're not a real relationship or they're not a romantic relationship. I've learned lately that friendships are just as important or even more important to take care of than romantic relationships, because I feel like it's already a default to take care of romantic relationships because it's what, you're supposed to do when you're with a person. You talk to them 24/7 and you're with them all the time, whatever. But friendships are just as important, and they are the ones that will be there for you in case that person breaks your heart or that relationship ends. Friendships will save you from heartbreak. Friendships will take you out of a deep hole. We are supposed to have people around us. I'm going to talk about that a lot throughout this season, because I've also talked about loneliness and how to be okay with being alone and how to enjoy your own company. And as important as that still is, it is just as important to find a group of friends, or to find one good friend that you can spend time with, that you can talk to, like you can have conversations with. And again, you will only find that, and you will only find healthy friends when you yourself become a healthy friend. So besties, with that long introduction, welcome to today's episode, how to be a better friend without losing yourself, which is also extremely important. Now, we're going to talk about how to be an actual friend. Not just the type of friend that we follow each other on Instagram, we comment on each other's posts, we react to each other's stories. Not an online friend, not the online version, not the aesthetic type of friend that you see online and you're supposed to be. And if I comment hard eyes on your picture, we're immediately best friends, or I'm supporting you just because I'm commenting on all of your posts. But how to be a real friend, someone that people can count on. Because the truth is that most of us were never taught how to be good friends. We were taught how to be liked, how to be easy, and how to not take up as much space. Now, besties, being a good friend is not about being perfect. It is about being aware. This episode is not about blaming anyone, but it is about self-awareness and looking inward. Because the truth is that every single friendship has two sides. And for a relationship to be healthy and for a relationship to maintain itself, it needs two people. And one of them is you. And growth starts when you are willing to become aware of your side, of your part, and how much weight you have on the friendship. Step number 1 to become a better friend. Besties, a better friend is a self-aware friend. Most friendship issues don't come from bad intentions. They come from misunderstandings. They come from blind spots, and they come from conversations that we never have because our ego doesn't allow us to. Self-awareness in friendships means knowing how to react when you feel triggered, knowing what to do when you feel left out, knowing when and if you shut down, you get defensive, you get aggressive, you become passive, and knowing how you handle conflict. Psychological research literally shows that people who lack self-awareness often overestimate how good of friends they are. Not because they're bad people, but because they've never slowed down to observe and recognize their patterns. So if you want to look inward and you want to become self-aware, ask yourself these questions. Number 1, do I listen to respond or to understand? This is extremely important not only for romantic relationships. It is important to listen to your friends, and it is important to create a safe space so that your friends are able to communicate when they're triggered by you or when something that you did was uncomfortable for them. It is so easy to call out friends when they make us uncomfortable. You did this and you did that, and you were a bad friend to me in this aspect, and you didn't do this, or I wish you would have done that. But do you listen to your friends? Or do you create a safe space for your friends to open up to you, to let you know what you did, and to let you know that you made a mistake? Because sometimes we lack so much self-awareness that we don't even know that our friends are scared of us. I've been that friend. I've been the friend that people are scared of to open up to. I've been the passive-aggressive friend. I've been the friend that likes to call everyone out but doesn't really look inward or is open enough to accept criticism. And I lost a lot of friends because of it. And there was a period of time back in 2022 where I literally had no friends because I did not accept any single comment that wasn't positive towards me. It is very important to understand and realize that if someone wants to open up to you about something that you did to them, instead of just walking away, it means that they care about the relationship. Because if you really think about it, if someone didn't care about you and you made them mad and you made them uncomfortable, they would just simply ghost you and walk away. If someone is brave enough to be triggered by you, and on top of that, want to have a conversation with you to let you know that you have hurt them, to fix things and for you to apologize, instead of seeing it as, oh, they're just attacking me and they're not seeing my side of the story, or they're just being dramatic and they take everything personal and get offended by everything, think to yourself and realize, wow, this person is brave enough to, number one, tell me that I hurt them, because it is not easy at all. And number two, they care about me and their relationship enough to, instead of just walking away and ghosting me, wanting to have a conversation and literally just looking for an apology from me to be okay again. Switch your perspective and understand that if someone wants to fix things with you, or if someone is opening up to you, it means that they care about their relationship enough and they care about you enough to stay. Question number 2 that you have to ask yourself: do I make conversations about me without realizing it? And this is something that a lot of people do, again, without realizing it, and it is very normal, but it's also something that you have to become aware about, because if you do it, even if it's unconsciously, so much, people will want to stop having conversations with you. If every single time that someone brings something up to you that they want to talk to you about, and that literally they just want you to listen, and you flip the conversation to now talk about you yourself and your personal struggles or your personal experiences, that person will never feel heard, because you never really gave them a solution, or you never really helped them, or maybe they weren't even looking for a solution, they were looking for someone to listen to them, and instead you made them listen to you. It is not a safe space for them anymore, but you have turned it into a safe space for you. And again, it can happen unconsciously. Sometimes we do it, and I include myself, as a way to relate to them, not as in, I just want you to listen to me, but oh my gosh, yeah, I've been through that too, and this is how I handled it. Sometimes it can come off as, what you're telling me is not that important because I've also been through it, and it's normal to go through it. When for that person, it might be very important, and maybe they just want to share it with you. Number 3, do I communicate my feelings, or do I just expect others to guess them? Because I assume that they would know that what they did is wrong, or what they did would hurt me. And assuming is literally one of the biggest mistakes that you can ever make in any type of relationship. And it's in the 4 Agreements, the book. I really recommend it. Do not assume. Ask, have conversations, be brave enough to be like, is this what you meant? Or is this what you meant to do? Or how you meant to make me feel? Because most of the times, and if that person really cares about you, the answer is that they didn't. Sometimes people don't know how they hurt you or what they did to hurt you. And that doesn't make your feelings not valid. It just means that you have to communicate them for them to validate them and for them to understand them. Because again, we're all different. Just like it's your first time being their friend, it is also their first time being your friend. I actually went through a friendship breakup recently over this, because a situation happened where that person assumed that I was supposed to think in the way that she thought. And because we were very different, I didn't, and she took it personal, never brought it up to me, was mad at me without even me knowing that she was mad. And because I didn't apologize over something that I didn't even know I did, we cut each other off, and I was extremely confused. And she was like, yeah, because you did this, this, and that. And I was like, well, you have to separate the feelings from the facts. And the facts is that I did this, and I didn't know that I was going to make you feel like this. And I would have probably apologized if you communicated with me that you felt like this, but you never did. And the friendship just ended there. And that is why it is so important to communicate your feelings, because sometimes they are so far away from the facts, and you will never know unless you communicate. And number 4, very connected with number 3, do I disappear instead of addressing issues? And if the answer is yes, you have to be better, besties. Especially if you want to maintain relationships, especially if you want to maintain friendships for the rest of your life, or if you want friendships to last for years. People are not mind readers, and you will not always get an apology, because, like I said, some people will never know that they hurt you unless you communicate it instead of disappearing. You give up on the relationship as soon as things get hard, or as soon as someone triggers something in you that they didn't even know was a trigger. If you care about the person, if you care about the relationship, if you've truly leaving the ego aside, think that this friendship is worth fighting for, overstep your ego, become conscious, become self-aware, and instead of disappearing, address the issue. Awareness is not blame. Awareness is clarity. One of the most common mistakes when it comes to friendships is thinking that you're listening while you're actually just waiting for your turn to talk. Real listening looks like not interrupting with your own story. And again, not bringing something that happened to you while someone is being vulnerable, sharing something that happened to them. Not immediately offering advice, because sometimes people just need to be heard. And sometimes people are just looking for a space to communicate their feelings that they've been bottling up, waiting to share them with you. Not minimizing emotions just because it wouldn't have hurt you doesn't mean that it's not hurting them. Just because you can't understand it doesn't mean that they're not going through pain. And not redirecting the focus back to yourself. Sometimes the focus will be on you, and whenever you need that person to listen to you, the focus has to be on you for it to be reciprocal. But sometimes the focus is going to be on them, and your ego has to become okay with that. Studies literally show people feel closer to friends who ask thoughtful follow-up questions rather than just giving solutions, because you make them feel like you're actually listening to them and not like you're just waiting for your turn to talk and share your experiences instead. Next time that you're having a conversation with someone and you catch yourself about to say, the same happened to me, or whenever I went through this happened, or I went through that same thing as well, try to replace it with, how did that make you feel? How do you feel right now? What have you been doing to feel better? Do you want my advice, or do you just want support? Do you want my genuine, honest opinion and what I'm actually thinking and feeling, or do you just want me to listen to you? And both are fine, and you have to be okay with both. That's another thing. You have to be okay with your friends not wanting your advice, because this is a situation that they are going through, and they are going to learn how to navigate by their own life experiences and in the way that God wants them to navigate it and go through it. Sometimes I feel like as friends, we make the mistake to get frustrated with our friends because they're not navigating situations the way that we would. And the truth is that just because you would go through a certain situation in a certain way doesn't mean that your friend has to go through it in that same certain way. And that has nothing to do with the friendship. Your homework as a friend is to be there for your friend, regardless and no matter how they choose to navigate that certain situation. Ask, what do you need from me right now? And whatever that is, you have to be okay with, and you have to respect it. Sometimes presence is more powerful than answers. Sometimes just being there for someone is way more powerful and more important to them than any piece of advice that you would want to give them. Consistency is better than intensity. Most friendships don't really end over betrayal. Most people don't hurt each other intentionally, but they fade because of inconsistency. And they fade because of the excuse of, I was way too busy, or sorry I didn't see your text, or sorry I wasn't on my phone, or sorry life has been so chaotic that I haven't had the time to text back. That is a lie. We are on our phones 24/7, and I can literally grab my phone right now and text my best friend back. It takes me 10 seconds and I can go about my day. It takes 10 seconds to text back. It takes 20 seconds to check out your phone and have a conversation with a friend. It is a lie that you haven't been on your phone. It is a lie that you have been way too busy to answer when literally all you do is scroll on your phone 24/7. Relationships break because of inconsistency. And just like you're waiting for a text back from a guy that wants nothing to do for you, you should be just as focused, and it should be just as important to you to text your friends back, to follow up with your friends. Hey, how are you? How was your day? How have you been doing? How are you feeling today? Even if it's twice, 3 times a week. People have time for what they want to have time for. And the fact that you've been way too busy to text back is not enough of an excuse. You're just being a bad friend. Being a good friend doesn't mean constant availability, and it doesn't mean that you have to be available 24/7. But it means reliable presence. Be there for your friends. And I could talk about my current friends and the friends that I have right now and the people that I get to call my best friends today for hours. I love my people. Every single person that I have in my life right now, I love. I have nothing bad to say about anyone that I get to call and have the privilege to call my friends right now. Literally, it was the vision board party 2 weeks ago. I told you guys that I had the first week of January, or like the second week of January, I hosted a vision board party. And of course, me having 100 million things to do and leaving everything for last minute, I realized that I went to buy all of the materials with two of my friends. And that was like literally a day before the vision board launch party. That's a story for another day. I need to work on my time management. That's literally besides the point. We're not talking about me right now. But I bought all of the materials. I thought that I had everything ready. And then the next day when I got to the place, literally at 4, the vision board party started at 6:30. I realized like, oh my gosh, I didn't print a poster. Like literally the most important part of like the whole setup, which is what people were going to take a picture of and tag the podcast, which obviously the point of like the event was obviously to have fun and network, but it was awareness to the podcast and to the studio, which very kindly gave me the place. I didn't have a poster for people to take pictures of and with, and I didn't have the time either. I was in Wynwood, and if you live in Miami, you know that Friday at 5 p.m. it's literally impossible to drive anywhere in Miami because of traffic. It is literally so insane. And so I had two of my best friends, Mari and Nikki, coming to my event. You guys have probably seen them like posted on my social media. I post them all the time. But Mari was driving an hour and 30 minutes from her house to Wynwood. She was so far. And she was driving all the way from her house to Wynwood on a Friday night just to come to my event. And when I realized that I don't have a poster, I call her and I'm like, dude, Mari, you're gonna kill me. I know that you're probably super far away and you're rushing, but I really need you to go to FedEx right now because I really need to print a poster. Immediately, 5 minutes later, she was in FedEx asking to print my poster. For some reason, it didn't work out. She couldn't print my poster. She drove all the way to Wynwood. When she called me that she couldn't print a poster, my second immediate thought was, call Nikki. Nikki, please, I need you to go to FedEx and print my poster. 5 minutes after I call her, she was in FedEx printing my poster, and she got there 30 minutes late because she was printing my poster. Shows up with the poster, and I was able to have a poster. But my point is that presence in friendships and being available for when your friends need you is probably the most incredible gift that you can have to then also receive. Because if you're there for your friends will be there for you. The only reason as to why I feel comfortable enough to call them and ask them for a favor like that, which it could have been any other thing, but I've called Mari for favors multiple 100,000 times, and she's called me for favors multiple 100,000 times. The only reason as to why I feel comfortable enough to call her and ask her for something without being scared to ask her is because she knows, and I know, that if she were the one to call me, in 5 minutes, I would have been in FedEx to do the exact same thing because we're both present in each other's life. We're both available in each other's lives. And it is such an important quality to have as a friend. Be there for your friends. Be available. Be available genuinely without expecting anything back. Without being like, oh, because I did you a favor, now you have to do me a favor the next time. No, be there for your friends. Be willing to do favors for them. Be willing to make their life easier. Because I promise you that whenever you need something, you really, truly want friends that are available and willing to do things for you. And that will only happen when you're willing and available to do things for them. Also very important, be consistent. And consistency looks like checking in when nothing is dramatic. Checking in when nothing dramatic is happening. Just checking in because you're checking in. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? How's your day? How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? How have you been feeling lately? Is there anything that you want to talk about? How was your day? And just talk about each other's day. Remembering important moments. Prioritizing special dates. Following through on plans. I feel like it's so romanticized on social media. And I see it all the time. Me being happy when my friend cancels plans because now I get to stay in and chill at home. Do not romanticize isolation. And do not romanticize loneliness. And do not confuse canceling plans and not following up with your friends with protecting your peace and your mental health. Because your friends are supposed to add to your peace and to your mental health. And if they're not, then they're just simply not your friends. But do not confuse isolating from your friends or canceling on your friends as protecting your energy. Because you're not protecting your energy or you're not protecting your mental health. You're just being a bad friend. Emotional safety shows that predictability builds trust. People trust what they can rely on. If it's your friend's birthday and they invite you and you cancel simply because you didn't have the energy to go, they might invite you to something else. And if you cancel that too, they might invite you to a third thing, already assuming that you're going to cancel. But on the fourth time, they're not even going to invite you anymore. And then eventually you're going to ask yourself, why is it so hard for me to make friends? Why is it so hard for me to find people to hang out with? Because you're not a good friend. Because you're not there for your friends when they need you. Because you don't show up to important dates. And again, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a bad friend. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be texting someone 24/7 all the time, all day, every single day, because obviously you also have your things to do. You have your routines, you have your plans, but be consistent and be present. How to be a better friend. Do not make their hard moments about your discomfort. Many people pull away when their friends are struggling, not because they don't care, but because their discomfort feels overwhelming to them. And I've seen it so much. That person has issues, that person is going through it, their vibe or like their heavy energy is like translating into mine. And don't get me wrong, there is a very fine line in between sharing your issues with your friends and making your issues their issues, which that's not okay at all. Your friends are not your therapists. But as a friend, when your friend is going through a hard time, that is when they need you the most. And you have to have enough grace to understand that their energy and their mood and their attitude and their emotions are not going to be 100% because they're going through a tough time. And that doesn't mean that they're bad vibes or they're bad energy. You just have to have, again, grace and comprehension about the fact that they're going through it. And when you go through it, you would want them there. Don't pull away just because you don't know what to say or because you don't want to say the wrong thing. And so instead of not wanting to say the wrong thing or not knowing what to say, you don't say anything at all and you just simply completely disappear and ghost. Being a better friend means choosing presence over perfection. And it means I don't entirely know how to be there for you right now, but I'm gonna choose to be there for you anyways because you need me and I know that. That can literally look like sitting in silence, saying or even communicating it. I don't know what to tell you right now, but I'm here for you. If you want to share or overshare anything with me, I'm here. Allowing someone to feel without rushing them to heal just because you want your friend back. But avoiding someone during their hardest moments of their life is very selfish. And it only teaches them or it lets them know that they're only lovable or worthy to be friends with when they're doing good and when they're feeling 100%. Again, besties, presence matters more than perfect words. Honesty without kindness is just criticism. And listen to me on this one, please. Listen to me carefully on this one. There is a way to be honest and not aggressive. There is a way to be honest and not attack the other person and make them feel horrible about themselves. There is a way to be honest with grace and with love. And if honesty doesn't have love behind it, it is just hate and it is criticism. Honesty in a friendship is extremely important, but delivery is just as or even more important. Being real doesn't mean being careless. And it's not only about what you want to say, but it is also about how you say it that will make the person grow and be better. Healthy honesty is specific. It is grounded and centered in care and love. It is shared at the right time, and it is free of humiliation. There is a way to be honest with a person without absolutely destroying them, their confidence. And there is a way to be honest without completely humiliating them. Before giving any feedback and before being honest with a friend, ask yourself, what intention am I doing it with? Do I want to share this honest thought with them because I want them to feel bad about themselves? Or do I want to share this honest thought with them because I genuinely want them to be better? Am I saying this to help them, or am I sharing this to help me release my own frustration? Is this the right moment? And are they in the right headspace to listen to me? And is this something they can actually change? I'm going to give a really stupid example, but let's say that you don't like that shirt that your friend is wearing. And you go up to them and you're like, hey, if I'm being completely honest, I don't necessarily think that that shirt is fitting for, I don't know, the place that we're going to. And it is that person's favorite shirt. And it is that person's style. And it is how they choose to dress. And it is how they like to dress every single day. Who are you to tell them what they're supposed to wear? And who are you to tell them how their style is supposed to look like? Unless it is something they can actually change or would want to change. Some opinions and some comments and some thoughts are meant to be kept to yourself. Truth should be supportive, and honesty should be from a place of love, not shame. Respect their boundaries and your own. Good friendships and the best type of friendships are not built on unlimited access. They are built on mutual respect. And healthy friendships include emotional boundaries, time boundaries, energy boundaries. And a better friend doesn't guilt someone for needing space. A better friend doesn't take boundaries personal. Communicate your boundaries, but also respect and accept their boundaries without building resentment. Unspoken expectations are one of the fastest and easiest ways to damaging a friendship. And how to be a friend, step number 7, last but definitely not least, one of the most important ones, is to celebrate your friends without comparing your success or your achievements to them. Comparison quietly or very loudly damages friendships. A better friend celebrates without competing. A better friend doesn't downplay your wins. A better friend doesn't make you feel uncomfortable about your success. And a better friend doesn't bring up their achievements just because you feel comfortable enough to share yours. A better friend doesn't disappear as soon as their friend grows. Celebrate loudly. Make your friends feel celebrated. Make your friends feel important, or like what's important to them is also important to you. And besties, that is our list, and that is it for today's episode. No one is a perfect friend. We all miss texts. We have all canceled plans. We have all been or given the excuse of being too busy. We all misunderstand. We all make mistakes. Being a better friend is not about never messing up. And being a better friend is not about being the perfect friend. It is just about reflection, having more self-awareness, and truly caring as much as you would want people to care for you. It is about repairing, it is about growing, and it is about understanding that friendships are important, and because they're important, they should be taken care of with love, respect, and putting in the work. Ask yourself, where can I show up with more intention? How can I be a better friend, or where am I lacking in the friendship aspect that I'm not giving, that I'm expecting, and that I could give so that I start receiving? That's it for today's episode, besties. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you guys liked it. Don't forget to follow the podcast on social media. I Miss Me Podcast on TikTok. I Miss Me Podcast on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. New episodes every single Monday. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Mafe on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I post YouTube videos every single Friday. I will see you guys on our next episode. With love, Mafe. Besties, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share with anyone that might need to listen. Don't forget to follow I Miss Me on social media. I Miss Me Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And subscribe to I Miss Me's YouTube channel, I Miss Me Podcast. I will see you guys on our next episode.